Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, loud and clear. Back on the Train Sim World 2. Exciting week this week. The Dresden route is out tomorrow. So I thought we'd have a bit of a warm-up as per usual. And then tomorrow night we'll be back again. And we'll run a few of the services on that Dresden route. So given it is really hot out there tonight, I thought, well, why not go on the Isle of Wight and do a summer run. So since I've been on the PS5 version, I haven't run any of these scenarios yet. So I thought, let's make a start. We'll just run this summer southbound to begin with. Quick glimpse of my screenshot there in the game, which was nice as well. Very nice surprise. Climb aboard the train. Okay. Okay, let's get everything set up. Master key in. Master key lever on. Let's get the doors unlocked. Now what I'll do is switch the lights on. Instrument lights, headlights. And what I'll do, being as this is a scenario, I'll wait for the prompts for the rest of this. Because sometimes these scenarios have a habit of screwing up if you jump ahead, even if you do know which buttons you're meant to be pressing. You have a sequential order that they like to move in. There's our guy looking a bit dapper. We've got some people coming down. Hopefully they'll get on. There's a lot of people waiting on this side. No trains ever come to this side. Certainly not in the game, they don't. All aboard, come on. Okay, doors to locked. There we go, ready to go. So straight into full series. Got 15 miles an hour across the pier. This is Ride Esplanade. One thing I do like is the detail in the track. So these weeds are slightly big, look like buttercups to me, but they're quite large buttercups. But it's a really nice effect. Because you do see this kind of effect, don't you? On the rails. Especially on this side, with this side not being used as much. No hovercraft though. That would have been a nice addition if they could have put that in. Okay, so we're nearly ready to go. We can lock the doors any second. And on to Ride St John's Road. I'll take the power off because we're downhill till the middle of this tunnel. Just keeping it under 20. I do like the track sound in this route. This is a route I've not travelled on in real life, so again I don't know how close to reality this is, but so we've got a red at the end of this platform. So I notice on this route the passengers have got the new walking animation. See them coming down the steps there. So I'm assuming at some point this will get the rush hour treatment and we may see a few more passengers, although to be fair there's quite a few just now. Now I don't know whether that is because this is a scenario. I don't know if services are any different. But certainly the clothes are still the same, so the clothing update hasn't come yet. I'm sure Dovetail will get round to it eventually with each of these routes. I don't know if it's just me, but if there's all these seats free, would you really choose to travel backwards? Don't know. I much prefer going forwards if I can. Personal choice. Right, so we're going via Smallbrook Junction. Just going to check the sound. It seems loud to me. There was a patch that came out today, and I'm just wondering if it's reset the audio controls. The audio is at 80. Just drop that 75. Let's see what that's like. Some of these services, once we get this go via, we've got a stop sometimes at Smallbrook itself, which is pretty much right after this go via. Just have to keep an eye on that. Just ease off, just in case. Yep, stopping straight away. I mean, one thing is that this loco does have decent brakes, so it's not too much of a problem, but it seems a bit of a strange place to put a go via when you're stopping right afterwards. Noticed quite a bit of that as well. Some passengers stuttering to actually get on the train across several routes. So I don't know why these passengers would turn up like this and just not get on this one. There's not much point waiting for the next one. We're all going the same way. So Braden is the next stop, 2.4 miles. So we have a chance to build some speed up on this stretch. So usually when we get to about 25, 26 miles an hour, we can put it in the top notch and it'll pick up. There we go, 26. So there was a trophy for going 45 miles an hour if you're on PC, an achievement I should say, but unfortunately due to some technical issue, that and some of the other trophies weren't added for PlayStation, which is a bit of a shame. Whether or not they'll be put back in later, not sure. Just ease off now. Just a mile to go. Dropping it down to 20 to come into Braden. Observador, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. Pretty good. You're on PS4, aren't you, Observador? Did you get all your DLC sorted out after all this upgrade business? Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad they finally got that sorted out for everybody. Just one of those things I think that they didn't see coming. So I'm on the PS5 now, so the PS5 version came out the same day as the patch, so I didn't even update the PS4 version, I just removed it and installed the PS5 version straight away, and it's, touch wood, it's been good so far. Not seen any issues. But yeah, must have been a nightmare for PS4 players. Do you know what, Observador? I haven't noticed any drop in the frame rate, to be honest. I think it's pretty nice. And I think Matt was saying that the PS5 version is the equivalent of PC high setting. But it does look nice. It looks even nicer to me. I'm playing on the TV. I've got a 55-inch TV, so I'm sat in the living room now just playing it. And it looks really good on this TV in 4K. Hey, Salty Chips. Thanks for coming in again. How you doing? Oh, Munich, yeah, Munich. I think Munich struggles a little bit anyway, doesn't it? It does actually still stutter on the PS5, just as you're coming out of Munich. I thought they may have fixed that between the PS4 and PS5 versions, but it still just does stutter on occasion. I'm good, Salty Chips. Thanks for asking. Looking forward to tomorrow's Dresden route. I don't know if you guys are picking that up or whether you've got the season ticket, so you'll get that anyway. But these routes are coming thick and fast now. I don't think it'll be long until we get the Brighton route. I know they've said that they expect it to be slightly longer, but I imagine it won't be that long. I think really the season ticket is a no-brainer. If you are only interested in a couple of the routes, it's still good value. I know it's more than we paid last year for 3 routes, but it's just one of those things. I did see that posting about that, Salty Chips, yeah. I don't understand what the issue is there. It didn't really say, did it? I think Natalie said you're able to click on it and add it to your library or whatever the equivalent is on Xbox, but it won't actually start downloading till a little bit later in the day. I'm assuming on PlayStation it's available at midnight for the PlayStation, but I'll be at work, so I might get a chance to play it tomorrow lunchtime for a little bit, but then I'm going to stream it again tomorrow night and have a proper look at it. Yeah, it's good value, Observador, yeah. I think so, yeah. And they tend to do this. They tend to do this once every year, don't they, to get new players. So I think even if you don't buy anything else through the year, the 3 route option that comes out around August is always good. And it always tends to be one from each of the countries, like they've done this time. Each of the main countries, that is. Right, so I've got a 15 coming up. So I don't know about Xbox just now, but certainly I did notice today in the PlayStation Store there is a sale, there's an add-ons sale. So if you are on PlayStation and there's some add-ons you've not got, just have a quick look in the PlayStation Store. I was looking earlier, but I can't I can't see what the prices are because I've already got all the DLC, so it doesn't show me the price, it just tells me purchased. But I did post it in the forums just in case anybody had not seen that. Yeah, so there you go, Observador. You can spend the extra you've saved with the season pass on something else, unless you've already got everything. That is. But just going back to that Dresden route, I think it's nice they've added in one of those branch lines again. I think People Power definitely won through there, didn't it? There was a lot of noise about that. You got 100%? Wow. That is good. Some of those trophies were difficult to get. There's so much grinding to do. I mean, just to complete every service on rapid transit gives me nightmares, to be honest. I got the platinum trophy for the original TSW, and I got it for TSW2. But I didn't get every single. That's some dedication. That's of a very high driver level, Observador. I know you've been around a long time. I know I've seen you in the forums over the years. But that's some commitment. So this is Lake. Car collector, was that the one on the old NEC branch? If I remember rightly, that was the trophy that I needed for the platinum for a long time, and I wasn't sure they were ever going to do a fix for that, but they did. Okay, that was a strange noise. I've not heard that before. Quite interesting. Yeah, 1 year to fix. It was. You're right. And I kept logging ticket after ticket after ticket because I wasn't sure if it was broken or I was doing something wrong or what it was. And I was being asked to rebuild the database on my PS4 and all sorts of things that really wouldn't have anything to do with the trophy being broken. But we got there in the end. So Shanklin's next, and that's the end of this run. Oh, you think they did it on purpose? Yeah, well, it might be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I know by the end of that, I tried it so many times, so many different occasions to get that trophy, not knowing if it was broken. By the end, I was sick, and I was sick of shunting and switching wagons. Done so much of it. I do think though there is now a bit more focus from DTG on consoles, more than there ever was. I think it's becoming a bit more equal now. My opinion was that it wasn't at the beginning, but certainly now, I think we're treated equally. One thing that has improved on this observatory is the draw distance, just generally, and the look of the scenery at distance. That seems to be much improved. There's much more detail. Okay, this is Shanklin. No, I saw all the passengers just disappear then. They didn't even leave the train. Got some Star Trek technology in force. Yeah, I haven't got a keyboard either, so I can't bring up the frame rate at the moment on this. Set the handbrake. And that's the end of the scenario. 4 more to do, I think, to complete the set this time around. Hi, Train Spotter. How's it going? Oh, there's my screenshot again. It's popping up a lot more now. I was a bit worried it had not made it to the game. I had not seen it by Sunday. Right, what to do next? I think I should do a longer run. One place I haven't been to too much since the PS5 version is Cane Creek, so let me do a Cane Creek. I was halfway through this chapter, so part of the trophy requirements, again, going for the platinum again this time on the PS5, is to do 10 journey chapters. So these ones are quite small, and I noticed the Dresden route tomorrow that we're getting. I noticed that Matt... oh, there it is again, look. Can't get enough of it now. Yeah, the Dresden route tomorrow, I noticed the chapters for that one are quite small as well. Our train has been loaded. We're now changing direction, so we have to alter how the locomotives are set up. Enter the one right in front of us, set it up as our new DPU engine. Yeah, pretty hype, Train Spotter. What about yourself? I was just saying, especially as the one of the branches has been put back in, that was a nice surprise, to be honest. Now we have to walk to the other end of the train, set up our new head end for operations. Fair enough. Oh wow, this is a good walk. It is nice, that night lighting. When I first saw it, a bit street lighty, you know, a bit too orange, but I've watched it back a couple of times. It looks quite good. So we'll find out tomorrow. Not long to wait now. Right, deactivate the control systems. Now we can finally go to our lead unit and set it up. Yeah, I think I said last week, didn't I, Train Spotter, that one of my favourite things I like to do is actually is come off a main line and go down a branch. I don't know what it is, because I quite like that Stoughton route that I ran last week on the Boston Sprinter. For that reason, really. Okay, so it wants me to go through this door. Right, so let's cut these in. I need to fiddle with my sensitivity since moving to this version. I don't think I adjusted it. Sometimes difficult to get the pointer in the right place. We're ready to pull together our full consist. Our first task is to pick up the second half of the train from the siding. I think we'll have some fresh air and it's a bit warm out there. Okay. Let's get the brakes off. Better put the lights on. But the other thing we'll see about this route is when I was playing this on the PS4, there was a lot of popping on this section. Actually, it's just a little bit further up. The road seems to build itself as you go along, and that hasn't really improved on this PS5 version, I'm sorry to say. So I just need to clear this switch and we can back it up. From my perspective, train spotter, I can't tell anything's been done. I don't know what difference it's made. The problem that I was getting on the PS5 was the route selection screen. So as I was moving between the tiles, it was kind of making a buzzing noise, and the fan doesn't run very high on the PS5 anyway, but you could definitely hear the fan a little bit, and I can't see that that's been improved at all. It is, yeah, probably is a placebo. Yeah, they probably just tricked us. The other thing I didn't look for, I believe the trophies will have been added today as well for the Dresden route. I've not looked at the list yet. Probably the usual set. And be careful I don't derail on this. Is the sound okay when I'm out of the cab? The game noise seems louder to me. Easy, does it? Okay, thanks, yeah, I wasn't sure. The rear cut had been coupled and we're ready to go. While the brakes release, we need to contact the dispatcher. Oops. Rolling backwards. That's not a good idea. Engineer, train LDP-46 to Union Pacific Dispatcher. We have our train at Moab and ready to pull northbound via the Cane Creek branch. Hi Nathan, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Okay, just waiting for the clearance. It's very pretty, this route, I will say that. Just looking at the textures are fine on the PS5. Union Pacific Dispatcher to train LDP-46, you are issued track warrant clearance to proceed from Potash northbound to Brendel. I will be in contact with you later regarding clearance across the main line and into Brendel Yard. Excellent. So we go via 7 Mile. Slight roll backwards. Let's put the independent brake on. Let it bite. Ease it off. The old hill start. Wonder if they even do that now in a driving test. So we'll check some of this scenery as we go along. So train spotter, you're all up to date with all your DLCs, all your patches, etc, etc. So you'll be staying up to midnight, will you, tonight again for Dresden? Oh wow, well, you're a very late adopter. I guess you were waiting for those issues to clear up though, to be fair. Which Observador was saying just earlier, he's now got all his DLCs fixed and working. So I think you should be good. Take a week off for the Brighton route. If you're taking a week off, you should go on the Brighton route. Not just play it on Train Sim World. I think we're just a matter of weeks away from the Brighton one now. Likewise, if you find anything in that patch today that... oh, hang on, what's this? Landslide. Oh, there's a derailment. That's not pretty. Yeah, if you find anything that's fixed in today's patch, let me know. I haven't spotted it. Yeah, same with me, Observador. So I've been trying to work towards the main trophies again in the last couple of weeks, rather than the DLC trophies. Although I think I'm around level 36 now, I think, again. And just over weekend I passed the 1,000 mile trophy. So I have another 9,000 to get. I think I've done most of the other stuff. I think I've got to do the gold medals one, 50 services, 100 services. I think that's pretty much it. The majority of those core trophies are quite easy to get. It's just the grindy ones take a while. Let's put some speed in. So this is the road I'm talking about. So we might see it as we go around this corner, but it tends to build itself in the distance. Don't think you can quite see it there. There's some minor popping in, but definitely when you come in the other way, this end of the road builds itself as you go along. But I guess there's a lot going on just in this area. This is also strange. We've supposedly just loaded these wagons, but they're half full. I don't think that's intentional. Patience, grasshopper. I think I would be like that if the West Coast Main Line North came out, as we've discussed before, or anywhere sort of northwest. I'd be pretty excited. They're all the same. There's something going on there. Just give us a chance to ride in them though. So you know that Brighton route then, Train Spotter. How long is it between Victoria and Brighton? What's the distance? Is it a good run, or is it similar to East Coastway sort of distance? I quite like East Coast Way, but I think when it came out, I played it and played it and played it, and I got a little bit bored of it. Ninja Gaiden, is that rings a bell? Is that a reboot of an older game? I seem to remember Ninja Gaiden when I was younger, but I haven't got it. Observador, no, I've not got that game. Oh, it's a PS3 game. No, I haven't got that. Oh, look, a floating rock. Oh, wow. I think something lives under there at night, some big snake or something. $51 miles, so it's a decent trek then. Train spotter that. I think my PS3 is up in the loft, Observador. I've not seen it for quite some time. It's lurking in a box somewhere. So there you go. You can see the road. It's tarmacked up to a point, and the tarmac will start building itself. You'll see there if you look closely. There it goes. That's quite interesting. So even though the distances have been improved, it's not quite there yet. But then I suppose their argument, and probably mine, is that you're driving the train, you don't always look at that stuff. I know it's there, but I don't always look at it. But yeah, it's always this section. So we've still got 3.5 miles to 7 Mile. This is one of those routes like Sandpatch. If you've got a big chunk of time, you just want a relaxing run, this is a good one. while I was on the PS4, I actually got quite a way through the whole route, and then of course switched to PS5 version, and then had to start again. But it's fine. It's fine. Even though they've said it, I don't personally think that they'll find a solution to getting everybody's progress from PS4 over to PS5. They were suggesting that some people might want to hang on and not upgrade just yet. But then again, you know, you could play it again for another 12 months, and then they announce that they can't transfer the progress, so you've wasted another 12 months. So it's just balancing what you want to do, really, isn't it, if you've got a PS5. It is strange, but yeah, it's quite relaxing. What I find with this route and with Sandpatch is you actually get a feeling of purpose. You actually feel like you're doing a job. I think that's the main thing for me. Some of the passenger ones feel like you're going from A to B and rinse and repeat, but this one actually feels like you're doing a job. So we've got a 15 coming up just through this very small canyon, would you call it? Gully? Cutting? I guess we would call it a cutting. A bit of amateur cinematics. So just a quick sales pitch, anybody that's watching, if you don't mind and would subscribe, that will help me out. That would be perfect. Thank you very much. Even if you're watching the replay. All subs really welcome. Let's go back up to the front. It's quite a steep hill through here. Keep some power on. Just over 2 miles to go till we get to 7 miles. Just to go via. We can carry on straight through. So I'll be back tomorrow night with the Dresden route. Should get that installed sometime during the day. And if anybody isn't picking it up right away or just wants to come in and have a look, I'll be running that same time tomorrow, probably around 6 o'clock UK time. We'll have a look at a couple of things. Not sure if DTG are doing a stream tomorrow night. I would expect they are. I can't remember the schedule. But I think they'll be starting about 8 o'clock. but it should be good. I like the scenery on the new branch line as well that they showed off last night. They put some good detail into that as well. But that isn't coming out tomorrow, of course. That's a delayed release, so that will be coming sometime in the next few weeks as an add-on. But as long as it's coming, that's fine. It's a big improvement. She doesn't say much. She's not very chatty. Yeah, the branch will be free, Observador, yeah. They'll just, it's just not ready yet. So if you've got Dresden, they'll, well, I suspect what will happen is we'll have to re-download the route again. But a newer version that's got the branch line added. I'm assuming that's the way it works. I don't think they can add something to an existing route. Unless they make it I don't know. Unless they make it like a DLC and it adds it. But I think we're more likely to have to download the route again. That includes the extension. Yeah, it'll be a patch. So they also announced yesterday a couple of other American freight routes, didn't they? Horseshoe Curve was one of those. Can't just remember the other one. So there's going to be a few more like this, it seems. I would actually like to know, they're never going to show us, but I would actually like to know the rankings of each route and each DLC, just out of interest, really. Because if they're bringing out 2 more US freight routes, then you would think the current ones, this Sandpatch grade, would rate quite highly in that list, and that they know that those 2 new routes are going to sell quite well. It's a pity we can't get that insider information. But as Sam said on one of the streams, he doesn't give out things like that. He doesn't give out all the recent survey results, because competitors could also get hold of that information, and then, you know, they've got a whole train simulator community sort of research right there at the fingertips, which they can use to market their own product. So it's understandable, but it would be nice to know. Yeah, there's not much passenger US stuff at all, is there? What was the last one? Was it Peninsula Corridor? Okay, that's where the dinosaur park is, which I actually unlocked on the PS4. I did the mastery for that, but it's not showing. None of the mastery tiles are showing on PS5. I think it's some Dovetail Live issue. It's playing up. It's not behaving itself. Oh yeah, Boston, of course. I forgot about Boston. I've been playing Boston over the last few days quite a lot as well. But yeah, before that, I mean, Peninsula Corridor came out. It was one of the routes that came out in the August, wasn't it? Have we had that 2 years now? I think we've had Peninsula Corridor at least 2 years, if I remember rightly. Then we had Long Island Railroad, which was the December before that. Be prepared to stop at Brendel if arriving before 2:25 PM. Okay, so what time is it now? 13:36. So we got some time yet. I don't know how I've got a memory for these things, Train Spotter. I just seem to be able to remember when things came out. That's probably just a sign of how much we've played the thing, to remember details like that. I mean, there's quite a few routes now, and DLCs. One thing's for certain, you'll never forget once Brighton comes out. I'll be able to ask you that, you know, in another 20 years, and you'll be able to tell me when the Brighton route came out. I think you are the #1 fan of the Brighton route. We'll be able to get you on Mr. and Mrs. You'll be able to answer questions about it. There's a few people on the forum who are quite excited about it. Because I don't know the route, I'll just wait till it comes out, and I'll see then. Actually, if I was to think of the next 2 UK routes that are coming out, so we've got this Penzance one coming out as well. We don't know when that is yet, but I don't think that will be far off. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably be more excited about the Penzance route. but I think that would only be because it's in a nice area of the country, and on the Brighton one, we've already got Brighton in the game. But that's not to say I won't enjoy it just as much. I like all the UK stuff, to be honest. I'm hoping on the Penzance one, given where it is, and you know, in real life, there's a lot of holiday makers, etc. I'm hoping with the new rush hour stuff being applied to it that it actually looks like that. It looks like people are going on holiday. You know, they may be able to do something with with the clothing, so they're not all wearing business suits, walking around Penzance. Just help the immersion a little bit. Like you said last week, you know, we need some passengers with suitcases and buckets and spades and things like that, you know, stuff they would take to the seaside. You could put that stuff on West Somerset as well, really. And I'm sure they will, eventually. Okay, so we've got 19 miles until we get to the Cane Creek branch line. And if we get there before 14:25, then we're going to have to wait for a passing train. But by my calculations, I think it will be later than 2:25. Let's see. I just hope when we get to the other end, the foreman doesn't look at these wagons and say, "Why have you only brought half of it? You've come all this way. You've not brought me the full wagons." Yeah, I must say as well though, Transport, I don't know the Cornwall route either, so I'm just wondering if that's the one for me that's got something a little bit more different to the Brighton Victoria one. But I'll be playing both, of course. We might need to get you on here as special guest to give us a rundown of what you think. By the time I switch on that Thursday, I think you'll have already been playing about 18 hours. Alright, so we're on the flat just now, so put a bit of power in. And just as I say that, we start to climb uphill again. Yeah, so what are we getting on that route again? Actually, train spotter. So we get the 377, which we've got on East Courseway. What's the other one that we get? Is there another one? I can't even remember what the loco sets are. What weight is this train? 3,722.5 tons. So it's pretty decent. .387, yeah, that's right. Oh, that'll be good if we can use the 166. I've quite a soft spot for that 166, being one of the first ones I learnt to drive in Train Sim World. That's one of the easiest ones, of course. But would the 166 be in the Great Western Railway livery the same, or is that a different, or is this a different part of the country to that? Would it need a different livery? And I'm assuming for the freight it will be the 66 again. Actually, just looking at this weather, I just realised I don't think I've run any service on here yet with any bad weather. I'm assuming it still snows around here, so we're able to set it to a snow setting. I'll have to check that out when I'm not streaming. Oh, that's good. So if that's the standard livery, then there's more chance of that happening, then, isn't there? Because they don't have to do anything to it apart from add the layer. In that case. So if they add that as well, then that would interest me quite a bit. That's the good thing now about some of these DLCs that we didn't get in the early days, that you buy a DLC thinking you're just buying it for a particular route, but then down the line you get to use it again for a whole new route. And I think the scenario planner was a good step in that direction. But now we're getting the layers. We're actually getting dedicated services for some of this rolling stock from the other routes. The German ones are a perfect example, aren't they? Because there's so much crossover with the German ones. At first you could only run the 155 on roads ignored, but now there are services on several routes. So it's become a better game all round, really. Layers for the Penzance route. What would that be then? Would that be? I wonder if that's going to be rail tours then. I could imagine you could run some BR Blue on that route. They should stick rail tours in really on all the UK routes. I think the first time we got rail tour services was on East Coastway. I put a couple of videos on the channel. I think I used the Class 40 from Northern Transpennine. I think I did the 37. There was another one I did. Anyway, they were very popular videos, and people were commenting, asking how they could do it. A lot of interest for those. There's a couple of rail tours on Cathcart Circle as well. Or Glasgow Commuter, as it's now been renamed, to give it its trendy title. Yes, nice that blue 52. I wish we had a blue 37. Or even better, the blue 37 with the yellow ends on it and the big BR logo on the side. That'd be nice. I'm sure somebody somewhere has created that livery in the designer. It's a pity at this moment in time that we can't share them, but I bet that's coming. That's one of the most requested things, as I understand it, sharing of liveries. They need to put in some kind of livery sharing store. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. They must be able to squeeze that into the UI somewhere. Let's put a bit more power in. Wonder why this is only a single track, this one. I mean, possibly just maybe there was more than one track at one time. Maybe they just don't run enough services. I think they were saying on the live stream when this was announced that there are not many services in a week going up and down. So maybe they just left one line in, as it's easy to maintain. I don't know whether this is accurate, but that track bed there looks quite wide. So whether that's a clue that it was once a lot more than this, don't know. There's the airport, I believe. It's a pity you can't get high enough to see if anything's modelled. Let's have a look. No, you can't really see anything. See some tarmac there, but can't see any kind of runway. So we're well on the way now, 13 miles. Slightly overspeeding, but I'm not too concerned. There we go, back to 25. It's a route this where you can just, you know, take your time, relax, enjoy the scenery. It's definitely the scenery that sells this. Apart from managing the brakes quite a bit with these gradients that pop up, you know, there isn't a lot to do. There's not a lot of signalling you need to pay attention to, but the scenery definitely is the thing that makes it stand out. So look at the different camera views. There's the flyby camera. I'm so glad that is back in now. On console, I should say. I think PC have always had it. Don't think anything's changed there. I didn't see that tail light as it went past. It seemed to pop up in the distance. Yeah, see, where's that tail light now? The flashing tail light. I don't see it. Let's take a look at this angle. We'll chase it. Okay, there it is. It just shows up more from a distance, I think, doesn't it? It blooms, the light blooms at a distance. So we're in good time. So the passing train was 14:25, so we're coming up at 2 minutes past. I think we should avoid it by the time we get there. So we shouldn't get held up. So again, don't forget tomorrow the Dresden route is out, so I'll be playing that live from 6 PM again. We'll just take a look at that for an hour, and we'll see what that's all about and see how that runs on the PS5 as well. See if it looks any different to what DTG was showing us on the streams. So if you're free, you want to have a look, pop in tomorrow. That is, if you're not already busy playing it yourselves. But if you've not bought it yet and you're on the fence, I will be showing it off, so you'll get an honest opinion from me. One thing I was about to do on this route, on the PS4 version, was go around and try and find all the collectibles. So I can get the trophy, so I'll do that on this version. I imagine there's going to be a little bit of walking involved, given the length of this route. So as you know, normally I take the 08 or the 09, so I can travel along the line and just jump out and stop very quickly and jump out and pick collectibles up, but I don't know if that's such a good idea on this route. Might need some speed. So we're on a downhill slope again, so I need to just ease off. And we're under 10 miles now to where we meet the main line. See, you can see far, far into the distance now, which I could never see previously on the PS4. That seems to have increased so much. So we've got a 1.1% downhill slope with all this weight behind us. I think you'll be alright, Train Spotter, because they've said they're doing a lot of work on optimization. I don't know exactly what that means for Xbox and standard PS4, but you would hope it would be better than some of the previous releases. They've definitely improved the download sizes, so this now sits on the PS5 with all the DLC installed, and it's something like 80 gig. The PS4 version was something around 94 gig, something like that. So they're definitely doing some optimization on the actual storage. So, you know, performance-wise, you would hope they're doing similar. Observador. You don't trust them at all, do you, Observador? You don't trust DTG one bit. But I think they were saying last night Matt's got his new role now, so he's stepped up one, so he's more in charge of the whole thing. So, you know, Matt's a good guy, so you would hope he would bring some of that in now, because he's always on the forums, he's always chatting to people, so he you know, he's at the front end as an executive producer. He's already at the front end. He's not getting his information third hand. He's talking to people directly, so you would hope some of that would rub off, and some of the opinions he's hearing from himself would end up, you know, coming into the game. It's probably one of his first jobs, actually, was listening to the feedback about the missing branch lines for Dresden. You know, and he's probably been him and Sam have probably been the strongest voices saying we're going to need to put something in, or we're likely to get a big revolt on our hands, especially after the upgrade to 4.26 and the debacle of everybody's DLCs. People were in a bad mood to begin with. So you might see some changes there, you know. Yeah, I have noticed that, Train Spotter, about the nights getting lighter. I am really interested to have a play around with that from tomorrow and just see what the difference is. Yeah, I think I've got a foot in. I've got a foot in both camps as well. If I'm honest, I think I, I think it's about setting your expectations, isn't it? Yeah, and if you've played it for as long as we've all played it, we've said this before. You can definitely see how far it's come since the early days. Steps are going in the right direction, but then they get odd mistakes or odd things they've not considered, which pop up from time to time, which people are on board, and then their opinion gets reset by the odd silly mistake that they make, which is a shame for them, because we've talked about it before that they all want to succeed at DTG with this. But I think sometimes the people pulling the strings above Sam and Matt's level don't quite understand the player base. They've not got that mix between business decisions and what the paying public actually want or what they expect. So in the past, if something's gone wrong that I've not been so happy about, I wouldn't. I'd log a ticket, or I'd put something on the forums. I'd make it known that something wasn't right, but I'd give them a chance to fix it. I think you have to give everybody a chance to fix something. Give people a chance to do something about it first. Observador and I were talking about a trophy from the first game, which was broken for a year, which stopped us getting the platinum. That got me quite frustrated, if I'm honest, because I wanted the platinum badly, and I just could not get it because of this, and it was a real sticking point. And nobody was answering tickets. Nobody was, no one was giving me a suitable suggestion. They didn't admit at first that it was just something wrong with the actual trophy itself and the counter associated with that trophy to get it awarded. And it took them a whole year. In fact, it was only fixed once the next summer release came out. And that frustrated me a bit. But beyond that, personally, there's been issues, but it hasn't really bothered me. I see some people on the forums who are nearly in a meltdown over certain things. And I can understand, for some people it's playing games and things like that is their life, but give them a chance to fix it. Register a complaint, let them take it away, let them fix it, let them work it out, let them come back. Let's see where we are. Yeah, I was saying at the start, I'm not that far away from getting the platinum already from this one. I've just got some grindy ones to do. I'm not going to go all out to get those. They'll come naturally as I play it, so I'm not too worried. It's the same set of trophies as well that we had for the PS4 version, so famous last words. I'm pretty confident that they'll work in this version as well, but time will tell. We'll see. So the other train that's on the main line will be going past in around 10 minutes time. So we've got just over 6 miles to do. So if we arrive before 14:25, we've got to wait, but it's doubtful. We'll be arriving after that. Now, does this only have one tone of horn? Let's see. Yep. Let's just check the screenshots as well, see if that's working now. So we can take a screenshot, but then if I try to upload it to Dovetail Live, that's where it was failing. Yeah, still the same. So that screenshot that is in the loading screens that I took that won last week's competition, I actually took that one. I've had that one several months, and it's just been sat in the rail shots file. And I've actually entered it a couple of times in the week. I don't enter the competition every week, but I've used that one a couple of times, and it's not got chosen. But this time it was all about shunting and switching, so I thought, well, I'll put it back in again because it's one of the favourite ones I've got, and managed to get it in. So it was a nice surprise. But at the moment I'm not taking any shots because we can't. So that's another thing I logged a ticket for, but I'm sure they know about that. Yeah, I heard about the blurred liveries, yeah. Dovetail Live though is not working on so many levels. So as I mentioned before, the mastery tiles haven't transferred across. It shows that I've qualified for them, but the tiles are not unlocked in the game, and I'm assuming that is something to do with Dovetail Live, not telling the game that I've actually completed them. Then there's the rail shots, can't take those anymore. And I haven't even looked at the logbook. There is the logbook, which I used to look at on the Dovetail Live website, but I'm not quite sure whether that has transferred across between the PS4 and PS5 versions either. I've not checked it. I'm not too worried about it. I think that was only a beta anyway, the log. Something they were looking at and then perhaps didn't carry on with. So we're not too far off. Yeah, you're right, Train Spotter. I'd say I think I looked at it the first couple of weeks. But I mean, if if you just flicked into a service, for example, especially in journey mode where it picks the weather for you, there's a couple of times I went in, chose one, and it was torrential rain, and I thought, I don't really want to run this one, I'm going to back out. It logged it that I'd done the service when I hadn't done it. So backing out of the service didn't actually remove it from the logbook, which was a shame. So the more you do that, the more useless it becomes. And it's less of a, it's less useful. I've not seen anybody talking about it on the forums either, so I don't know what the adoption was for that. I don't know if anybody was using it. Just under 3.5 miles to go till we reach the main line, so not far now. It's definitely pretty. But this is the clean loco as well. We do have a dirty loco. In the game. So it's just about 25 past 2 now, so that train on the main line will be passing. So I was right, it's not gonna hold us up, we won't get delayed. We should be able to run straight onto the main line once we get to the go via, which is good. We're probably too far away to actually see it going past from here. See if we can see it on the map. I'm assuming it's coming from this side. I don't see it. Let's have a look to the left. Ah, there we go. So it's already past us. So we're good. We're good. Onto the main line. I haven't seen any more floating rocks or scenery at this end of the route, so that's good. It's not very good down the other end. But they seem to have nailed it on this side. So once we get around this corner, we're under the bridge, and then we are at the main line. So we got a yellow, but we should be good to go. Don't think we should get held up now. Not really sure what's going on over there in that left-hand corner. Bit of an issue there. Okay, we got a red. Let's see if we can... No route available. I assume though when we go through the go via, that red will annoyingly change. Which happens on so many routes. You have to reach the objective point before the signal changes. So in the case of a heavy freight train, you don't want to be slowing right down, but you've got to, just in case you ruin the whole service you've been running for the last 90 minutes. So we'll play it safe. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, Train Spotter. I don't know why they can't fix that. Or at least, you know, don't put the go vias as close to the signals. So I've had to bring the speed right down just in case. I'll put some brake in. So we've got permission to go across. There we go. So the signal changes right away. Now we've come to a stop. It's just one of those things. They just need to move the go vias a bit this way from the signals and it'll be fine. But we all knew that was going to change as soon as we hit the blue marker. So we just need to make our way to the yard and we're done. So we've got a 15 miles per hour in the siding. So we'll roll that in. I'm assuming these are all signal controlled. We don't have to do anything. Looks like it. back of the train there is still coming off the branch line onto the main line. Quite long. Just under 500 yards to go. Very nice run. Nothing too stressful, just a nice delivery. Brakes on. We're back in Brendel. Our train will be unloaded here, so let's climb down. Or not, as the case may be. Not to worry. Oh, we got a silver for that one. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. What's that? 2 hours 20 minutes streaming, something like that. Thanks again for joining me. It's a pleasure as always, and we'll be back tomorrow with the Dresden route. So if you want to join me, then probably about 6 o'clock. I'll be running that for an hour or so. So thanks for joining in tonight. Please do leave me a like if you wouldn't mind. That'll be really helpful. And I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.